Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing good on this Tuesday, this particular Drawing with Dannphan Tuesday. What am I starting like a few minutes late? That's alright. It's just a couple minutes. It's alright. Ah, there it is. I was looking where I put things. Alright, so hope everybody's doing pretty good. I guess we'll just finish up the page we were doing last time, keep it somewhat consistent. And, I was thinking about just making it kind of a chill, easy stream. But if I feel the need to make it a longer stream, there's another page that just has one more panel to finish up, and we can just switch on to that page instead. But yeah, more Reaper 2 pages. Let's fucking go. Let's go. So, I guess progress reports. We have only 10 days left on the Kickstarter. If you wanted to back on the Kickstarter, you gotta do that pretty soon, otherwise it will be closed. And then we also, if you're not interested in backing on the Kickstarter, we have the Fund My Comic page, which will last longer. When the Kickstarter closes, this will be the only place to get your rewards from. And I think there's a couple rewards on here that are not available anymore on the Kickstarter. So if you wanted something special, yes, like the soul vials. There's still 3 left of the soul vials. If you wanted a soul vial to be extra special backing Reaper Book 2, this is where you gotta get it, because there's no more left on the Kickstarter. So there you go. But if you do want to back on Kickstarter because you have a Kickstarter account and don't feel like making another account, gotta go and do it soon, because only 10 days. Man, I hope my mic has been working this entire time. I did a little bit of a mic check beforehand, so should be. Anyways, I guess I'll start pulling up the page. Sorry, I should have had this ready. But you know how it is. I've been continuing my Slayers watch through. I'm almost done the entire series. Almost. Let's see. From where we last left off, I finished Slayer's Try, aka the 3rd season. I finished Slayer's Revolution, and now I'm on Slayer's Evolution R, which is kind of funny. It's a funny title for your very confusingly named seasons, but yeah, sure. Whatever. Alright, and hopefully everything works accordingly for today's stream. I think it was working last time, so hopefully. You know what wasn't working last time was the hotkeys, but they're working now. Alright, good start. Good start to the stream. Everything's working like it should be. Awesome! Alright, let's start sharing screen. There we go. Paint. Last time I leave an upcoming live stream open, I thought I was losing my mind. I'm watching a video like, what awful audio, someone is background. Well, it's a good thing that that the mic is working, yes. Alright, what was this again? Oh yeah, that was my redraw. I gotta move the baby over because I moved his hands a little bit. But other than that, this is kind of about right. I don't really... Go away. I don't need that anymore. Let's finish the baby. And I'll just do like kind of a rough general sketch of where she should be. Is my laptop cooking already? God damn, this thing can cook. Alright. That's a baby head. Eh. Alright. Baby head. Do the frilly skirts. I like drawing the frilly skirts. It's my favorite world. Why am I talking like this? Alright, it's kind of about right. It's gotta be a little bit fatter than this. Alright, generally about that size, I guess. Yeah, my laptop is already cooking. What the heck? I just started stream. It should not be dying already. Well, it is a hot day. It's not hot here. Not particularly hot, anyways. It's humid. It's very humid today. I wouldn't say hot. Damn, this baby looks fucked up. I partially blame this on sketching on stream, but the laptop making super loud fan noises also does not help. At least it doesn't usually pick up on the mic, otherwise it would be a bigger issue because of how loud it is. I think there's like a cancellation going on, so it's usually not an issue. Yeah, these arms are all fucked up, but that's okay. Are you streaming from the laptop you are drawing on? Of course, I always do that. I always do that. It's just sometimes it fucking cooks, and then sometimes it's like fine. But you know, how else do I do it? I do everything on my laptop, basically. The only time I ever use something besides my laptop is when I do the Dannphan streams. We do that on Adam's computer and my gaming computer, and that's about it. You can mitigate it by using a separate PC with a capture card to stream. And I don't really know how that works. I mean, to use a separate PC, I would have to stream in one specific place, and I can't really do that. some of the nice thing about the laptop is I can pick it up and move it to a quieter space. That's kind of the issue with the gaming streams. That's why we have to stream like in the middle of the night, even though neither of us want to stream in the middle of the night. It's because just we can't move it because it's a PC. As opposed to a nice laptop. The AC? What do you mean? Just relaxing white noise? Oh, that's my laptop. I thought it was not going to pick up on stream, but apparently I was wrong. Apparently it does pick up on stream. Well, I guess the stream is ruined. Yeah, you say a lot of words, David. I got nothing for you. To go and be beside my... won't be able to do it, is my point. If I have to walk all the way downstairs to hit end stream on my PC... Down... Oop, wrong window? Okay. I was just turning the music up so that it wouldn't sound like a bunch of white noise. Hey, well, for the most part, that's a baby. Super sketchy. It's more sketchy than this baby. I think just because I'm doing it on stream with an apparently very loud laptop set. There we go. When you talk, it goes away. Well, I guess I gotta just keep on talking. I don't know. No, we have a capture card. I mean, it works like shit. It's a garbage thing, and we never want to use it. But like, it won't do anything because I can't stream downstairs when I'm doing drawing streams. Yeah. Originally, we were trying to do, like, Switch streams, and, because we have and obviously a bunch of games on there, but worked like garbo, what can I say? So now we don't do any Switch games. I mean, I guess we could still try to figure out how to make it work, but we just don't have time for that, honestly. Alrighty. Once I finished up all of the Slayers series, I was thinking, oh yeah, I should binge... Well, I didn't completely finish up all the Slayers, but you know what I mean. I was thinking, oh man, I should, like, binge all of the movies next. Because I was thinking, like, oh man, there's so many movies. It's gonna be like the Inuyasha movies, where it's just, like, fighting different villains and with the crew, and I love these characters so much, so I'd like to see them fight more villains, etc. But apparently the movies, the original movie came first? Oh, this is gonna keep on confusing me, so let's turn that off. So, like, the original movie didn't even have the adventuring party or like, all the characters that I love in it. And apparently it is a prequel. Most of the movies are to the anime series, which is just tragic. I thought I had so content of these characters to enjoy. As it turns out, I did not. There's one single movie that features all the characters in the anime series. And it looks like it's just a comedy movie. Like, it doesn't look like it's supposed to be a serious villain or anything. It's just kind of like, ho ho, Gowry eats an octopus and then he starts speaking squid. Ho ho, so funny. Oh, I was like, man, stop. I don't know, maybe the description of the episode was just garbo. Maybe it's actually a super good movie with like intense fighting and cool stuff happening. I don't know. Maybe. It certainly doesn't sound like it though. It sounds a lot more like, ho ho, I can do the funny. Here, funny movie. Oh, Gowry, you're so funny. Her chest is way too big. You know, it's really hands. It's like I made these hands too far apart. Now I'm suffering the consequences. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. Maybe. So anyway, maybe eventually I'll watch the Slayers movies, but right now I'm not super interested in them because they don't have the characters I like in them. I guess that should be expected. Starting to forget how to draw. Just anything. Curse of the stream. Starting to forget how to draw. What am I gonna do? Gowry's a fun character. It's a tragedy that he doesn't get to do more. I think he probably did the most in season 1, honestly. And Slayer's Revolution, which I have finished recently, they start doing a lot more with the characters. They start fixing the problem that I mentioned before about, like, everything and not all the characters getting time to shine as much but more so buying time for Lena to fix everything. They have characters do stuff in Revolution, which is nice. I don't think the jokes are as good in Revolution, but the fights, I would say, are an improvement. Not only animation-wise, but just, you know, the fact that they get to do stuff. Gowry gets to be cool. That's nice. I like it when cool people get to be cool. Yeah, I think of the seasons I have watched, where the fuck am I gonna put this goddamn hand? I should have foreshortened it more. These fingers are too damn long. Actually, I can foreshorten it a little bit with this. It's like close enough. That's kind of foreshortening. Yeah, that's close enough. The sign of a good artist. Yeah, it's close enough. I am almost done with chapter 1 for Reaper. So that'll be exciting. I get to post that on the Subscribe Star for those who have the reader. I already posted a short comic there recently that I think people would enjoy. Just, you know, as a short read, something fun. I did it as kind of a way of practicing before getting back into doing Reaper. Mostly just practicing like stuff like the rendering and whatnots, which I think I have gotten a little bit good at anyways, even if I'm still not exactly a master. Now her head seems tiny, doesn't it? At first it seemed like ginormous, now it seems tiny. But I guess it should be tiny in comparison to at least him. She is like a toddler in this scene, so... Yeah, I don't really promote the Subscribe Star that much, but if you want to take a look at comics and projects early, that's where to do it. Check out more art that I don't post publicly. Go check out the Subscribe Star. Ooh. You also get your name shown at the end of my videos, so you can be like, heh, that's me. That's me. It's my name. I'm a part of this Dannphan video. I'm special. Get this general shading done. I don't remember what shade I made his vest. I'm just gonna kind of guess. And if I'm wrong, I'll just go back and change it later. I think it was fairly light though. Fairly light vest. His head looks kind of big. Maybe his neck just looks kind of short. It's the real issue, huh? I don't remember what I was doing last time when I was editing him so much. I guess I did do maybe a little bit too much editing. To the point where it's hard to keep track. There we go. Start getting in those darker tones. Now, what was I saying before? Ah, yes. Slayer. I think so far my favorite seasons are 1 and 2. That would be Slayers and then Slayers, Slayer's next. I don't know what's with the naming the seasons different titles. What's the thought process behind that? It does not make them easier to remember what the titles are. There's no easiness that comes with that. Not gonna lie, Slayer's Try, it was my least favorite. I kind of feel like it's the most skippable, honestly. Slayer's Revolution, it's fine. I have not, like, finished the story arc, of course, because now I'm on Evolution R, and that's just a continuation of Slayer's Revolution. But it's been fine. I don't think it'll end in a way that'll make it feel like it was pointless to watch. Honestly, I think the most frustrating part about Slayer's Try that made it not as enjoyable for me once again, it has to do with Gowry being useless. He like loses his sword, right? And then the whole entire time they're like, haha, he's useless without his sword. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's so strong! He could crush everyone with his bare hands. He should have just started punching people. It would have been funny! Aren't you supposed to be a comedy? I don't know. At least that's one thing I don't have to worry about in Slayer's Revolution. They seem to understand that he has to do things, even if he's being funny, he still has to be strong and cool to balance it out. And I'm glad that they understand that. All that being said, a lot of people just don't know how to write dumb characters. And one of the, like, opening jokes that they do with, like, Gowry in Slayer's Revolution is just, like, not good. I'll say that. It wasn't so bad that it would ruin it for me or anything. No, I wouldn't say that. It's just like, well, like I said, some people just don't know how to write dumb characters properly, so they just have them, I don't know, be mean? Instead of, instead of being, dumb. Like, the way they start off Revolution, Gowry, for some reason, can't, it's like a joke, he can't remember Emilia and Zelgadis' names. Oh, haha, Gowry, you can't remember their names, even though you traveled with them in, like, 3 seasons and repeatedly said their names over and over and over again. Silly, dumb Gowry. Like, that's not stupid, though. That's just, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how? How did he forget their names? How did he know their names and then now, just now, forget them? I don't know. It also seems mean. You know? Yeah, I think that's actually an appropriate way of describing it. It just seems mean that he would travel with these people and not care enough to remember their names, rather than it seeming like, haha, so dumb. I didn't like it. Didn't like that joke. But you know how it is. Marketing is different in Japan? Yeah, I don't know. How they view people shining through dumb people wrong, but they believe they are correct. Yeah, I didn't really have any issue with, like, the dumb jokes in previous Slayer's iterations. It's really just, like, trying to make a character seem useless that I don't like, because I mean, really everyone on the team should be powerful. They are powerful. I mean, that's just how they wrote the series, is that everyone on the team is pretty powerful and pretty useful. And I don't find it very funny when they're like, haha, Gowry, you're useless without your sword. Why do we even have you on the team? Ha 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 ha. Like, what? He's so strong. You wrote it that way. You wrote it so that he was super duper strong. Should have had him punching people. What can I say? But, you know, they also end the 3rd season by him giving up the Sword of Light. And that's not cool. I don't know whose idea that was, but I don't give a fuck about some, oh, well, the gods and dragons and, oh, I don't care. It's his sword. Fuck off. I also just kind of was not, in case you can't tell already, I was not super interested in the plot itself for season 3. I just kind of don't care about a dragon race war. And it's kind of confusing because not all dragons are sentient in the Slayer's universe. So it makes me ask all these questions like, well, how do they know which dragons are sentient and which ones are not? Are they, it's just like those specific types of dragons, the golden dragons and the ancient dragons, are the only sentient ones? Because, like, they've eaten dragon meat. I would hope that they're not eating sentient dragon meat. And then, like, we also just generally see dragons that are most certainly not intelligent. And they fight them in, like, Slayer's, evolution, so... You know, it gets confusing when you set up, well, some dragons are intelligent, but we don't specify which ones, you know? That's not gonna work. People are protecting their own by dumb people, but dumb people don't know they are dumb. They don't do it maliciously, they genuinely believe they are right. That's fine. Sure. Another thing about Season 3 is that was originally supposed to be the season that, well, I guess originally is like an assumptuous term. I don't actually know how these seasons were decided on or what was going on behind the scenes. But originally that was the season where Slayers ended until like a more recent sequel series was made in 2008 or something like that, and that was Slayer's Revolution. And it's strange to me because Season 2 had a much better, like, series finale than Season 3 did. So that, something like that makes me think, was Season 2 originally supposed to be the series finale, and then they just stretched it out, and maybe they thought they would get more seasons, but then they didn't? I don't really know. But, like, I think people would probably be more content just watching 1 and 2, ending on, like, 2 even, than they would be checking out 3. Like I said, it just generally felt not super valuable of a season. Not that it was terrible, but I don't know, I just didn't get as much out of it as I got from the other 2. Is that enough rendering? Maybe I'll add a little bit more here. Okay. Add in this vest. I don't know, maybe like 30? That's good. Well, now I feel like it was darker than that. Maybe like 35. Yeah, something like that. I guess I could check, but who would want to do that? Think about it. There's the background. Now we just gotta add some white and have them pop out. I think it did make that arm a little bit too thick. Yeah. Let's take this and lower it a bit. That's not shift. Alright. It's not thicken. Okay. Sorry about my white noise ASMR. One day I'll have a super pro streamer set up, just not today. I must become a super good artist. And then I'll be making all the monies. No, that's not how that works. Okay, that's done for now. I did redraw this one, you can probably tell, but you know. For the most part, the same. Let's take this down a notch. Do a flippy flippy. Maybe not the correct angle, but it was close. I showed a streamer friend I watch religiously. She plays horror. Some of your monster drawings. She was impressed as well. Ah. Well, thank you. I appreciate the share. really done too many monster drawings. But they are occasionally fun to do. Posting art online is like kind of funny, and I feel like it's very easy for new artists to get very demotivated when they post online, honestly. Because people who like your artwork are almost never really gonna say that they like your artwork, you know what I mean? Most of the time, they're going to leave a like if they do that, or just like silently enjoy it. It's been my general consensus, and you know, it's not just me who says this. Other artists also say that this is usually the case. A lot of silent enjoyers of art rather than vocal enjoyers. I think the best thing you can do, like genuinely, on Instagram especially, is just like comment and tell them, good job, looks good. Honestly, pretty much every Instagram artist, if you just comment and say, oh, nice work, they appreciate it so much. Just because they're not used to getting any comments. Or if they do get a comment, it's like, you know, maybe negative. People are more motivated to leave negative comments than positive ones, I guess. Because, like, when you see something you don't like and you have a very negative opinion of it, it'll, like, stay in your head until you exercise it from yourself, you know? So you feel like, I need to talk about this so that I can move on with my life. But it is also, like, just generally tragic that many of the comments that end up only being posted are the negative ones. People should also say when they like things, is my point. You should be balanced. If you leave one negative comment, you should find it within yourself to, like, try to leave also a positive one. Balance it out somehow. It doesn't have to be for the same person, but you know what I mean. Just in general, also be leaving positive comments so that you're just not a big negative Nancy. Lack of better terminology. I think, myself personally, I'm in this kind of funny state of art. How should I say this? So, like, if your art is really bad, nobody's gonna comment on it because nobody's gonna take you seriously. And if your art is really good, gonna comment on it because they figure that you already know that it's really good. You know, they figure you're a super professional, so there's no need to compliment you. You clearly know what you're doing, right? I'm in this funny state where my art is, like, really amateur. My art is, like, really almost okay. So I feel like maybe I get more comments because of that. In certain scenarios, anyway. Not that I'm saying I get a ton of comments on my art, but get critiques. Which is not the worst thing in the world. It's only annoying when they're not actually artists and have no idea what they're talking about. But usually it's fine. It's all of improving, right? It's all part of the journey. This is not with his hairline at all. Why did I do that? I'm a stoop. Yes, I am. Alright. Yeah, you know, I guess that looks about right. At first I was thinking, is the top of his head a little bit too flat? But I think it's... maybe it is a little bit flat. But it's mostly just this curve right here that's making it look a little bit too flat. So I'll just change to... okay. Move. Just change that curve. Look a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. The only time I remember getting negative reception for my art was when I went to an art fair near me. They just kept telling me we can't show that here because they mistook me for someone looking to actually display my work. Oh god. And none of them had any interest in the popular arts which I take inspiration from. Thoughts on that? I think that is a situation by which I would self-destruct over. I would would not want that. I don't know what popular arts you're referring to, so I'm not sure how much input I can have in terms of that. An art show? An art fair. An art fair, not an art show. Sorry. I've never really been to any art fairs, but I assume most of them, they just want like student paintings or something. I don't know. That's my perception of art shows or art fairs, but probably art shows too. I've been to crafts fairs, and those are kind of similar in the sense that there's a lot of artists who go there and try to sell their work. And and people who run the crafts fairs tend to be a little bit more snooty. Like, we don't want amateur work, not here. Mostly just because they don't want someone to ruin their reputation of their amazing art fair or whatever. And that's whatever. I don't really care. But you know. Obviously, at the crafts fairs that we've been to, I was not selling my comics. I like fine art, but I don't have any idea how to do it. So I'm gonna start small. We'll work ourselves up to making some finer art. I was at one point trying to teach myself digital painting. I like kind of dropped it because I was like, I just time for this right now. Which was probably the right decision. It's probably the right call. Because I don't, you know, there's a lot of other stuff I should be learning first before trying to teach myself digital painting. But yeah, you know, I remember when I was first starting off art, it was really difficult to get any critique or any input from anyone, really. Even at art schools, you just never get any critique. It's stupid. It's tragic. You'd think that an art school would give you critique, but no. They just don't care if you get better or not, really. But eventually, like, one of the first comic series that I had done, eventually I found someone willing to, like, say something. And obviously they said, this art is terrible. It was a super old comic, so it didn't look nearly close to this in terms of quality, and even this, it's like, still needs some work. But they went on this whole rant, not necessarily about me for a personal level, they weren't like personally after me, but they just went on this whole rant in general about how amateurs very often like post their work to get critiques, and they're so far from knowing what they're doing that nobody can really give them any valid critique, you know, because they just need to fucking learn. They just need to take lessons and start with the basics in general. This belt ended up getting nerfed somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how I ended up nerfing this belt so badly. Let me try to thicken it out. But yeah, I kind of feel that sometimes. I think sometimes people, they just want to get into something way too quickly. They just want to bite off more than they can chew. And it can be frustrating for people who are a little bit more polished, who can't get attention on their current work. despite that, because I've mentioned this before, but even if you're a great artist, you're still gonna have trouble getting noticed. You're still gonna go through all the same BS, you know? I've seen plenty of, like, really good artists still get nowhere in terms of, like, turning it into a real career. It's quite difficult. In general, it's already an oversaturated field. And many people, many other artists, perhaps maybe unjustly, blame the fact that they don't get noticed or that the field is too oversaturated on the idea that there's so many amateurs who get into posting art, and like the idea is there's too much distractions. There's, you know, it's the same thing where a lot of people complain about indie comics. If there's too many amateurs in indie comics, then they supposedly make indie comics look really bad. I get it to some extent, you know. I've done a video like voicing complaints on how there's a lot of people who are over ambitious, make a story that's not very good, but they manage to get it funded and everything. I don't really have a solution to any of these issues, but I know that they exist. I know that it's a problem, of course. Ooh, this goddamn sleeve. Must make more round. It's okay. Let's see. Got led away from a craft fair once to a dude's house that made custom rings. Got a sick silver dragon ring out of the deal. That sounds funny. You know, I know somebody who lives across the street from a park, and the park occasionally does like big fairs, right? And she will just set out on her front lawn selling pottery, because that's just a hobby, that's just a thing that she does. And she doesn't have to buy a table at the fair, she doesn't have to spend any money, all the people come to her because they're all going there because of the fair. She makes bank. There really is value in location, I'll say that much. So funny. Art world is pretty cutthroat too. Always seems like people will try to tear you down at every turn. That's about. I don't know about the whole artist versus artist thing. Usually that has not been my personal experience. I've experienced a lot of the opposite. Not that I've ever met any artists who got me a job or anything, but a lot of them are pretty supportive and being like, yeah, keep trying. You'll get there. Come on. You can do it, Dannphan. But then again, maybe they're just fans. Maybe it's all lip service. This can also be true. Ginger looks quite cute. Very cute little face. Adorable. Alright, that's enough of that. I guess his sleeve comes above the vest. It's the issue with making these super sketchy outlines. And having to do the line work over them. And the line work is all sketchy, and I'm kind of generally okay with the line work being a little bit sketchy, though. His face looks weird. I just don't know 100% why his face looks weird, so I can't super fix it. Maybe it's just that the wrong line is dark. This line is dark, then maybe it should be this line that's dark. I'll go back on that one. I'll see if I can edit around and figure something out. Alright, let's get to his arms. High point. It's a little bit. It's a little bit too parallel, maybe. Oops. Too far back. Okay. It's too parallel. Why do I keep on doing that? I assume his elbow is here. There we go. That's a little better. Alright. That's not hitting the wrist. That's nowhere near the wrist. Great job. Now, it was a guy that did clay infused with silver and would kiln cook it. Wasn't at the craft fair when I went, but lived 2 streets over. Had some pretty nice pieces. Had a friend recommend and take me over when she had no rings big enough to fit me. That's kind of nice. Yeah. Just thinking maybe I should shorten the fingers a little bit. Each. What a awkward setup I got there. Thumb is a little bit tiny. Got tiny thumb syndrome going on here. Finish up with Cutie Patootie over here. And then I'll take a look at Ichabod's face and see if I can do anything. And I don't know, maybe we'll just call the stream there. Yeah, those eyes are not looking the correct way. Alrighty. That's kind of something. Check the nose. Yeah, it's kind of fine. It's probably... Come on. Imprecise clicking. An artist's worst fear. Let's see. So once I'm done Slayers, I think I might finish up X-Driver. I watched one more episode. It was kind of bad, not gonna lie. I mean, not that this show was that good to begin with. Like, it was okay. Like I said in my review, it's like the best out of the pile that I had reviewed, but the pile that I had reviewed was like not really heavy hitters, you know? But I think I might just finish that up because, you know, it's kind of short and it does have really nice visuals. You can always say that. I showed some of the visuals in my review. And fuck, like, Neo Tokyo, man. I love it shiny and chrome. We need more interpretations of the future that are shiny and chrome. It looks so fucking good. Why don't more people just do that? You know? Start doing that. There's my artist advice. Start making futuristic stuff shiny and chrome. Make it look like the Jetsons, please. It looks prettier. I only have like 2 more episodes to go, and then I'll be done with the whole series. Besides the movie, I guess. I don't know what the movie is about. I think at some point in the series they introduce villains, and maybe the movie is like fighting said villains. Honestly, that is kind of interesting. To imagine like villains hacking these AI cars. And that, I mean, that is something that happens in real life. Is that people can hack self-driving cars. And it has happened, obviously, but I won't talk too much about that, because I don't want my car to accelerate and have me be the next victim. But that is like kind of an interesting thing to a show like X-Driver. It almost feels like it should have had that to begin with. But instead they're just like, oh yeah, we have self-driving cars and sometimes they just go berserk and kill people. So now we have a special team that's gonna stop the AI cars from killing people. But hold up a second. If you have AI cars that just occasionally every, what, month or so go berserk to the point where you need to hire an entire team to stop them? Maybe these AI cars are a bad idea if that's the case. But no, they're like, nah, we're gonna keep the cars and we're just gonna spend taxpayer money on hiring people to police and, well, if you really just don't want to drive that badly, I guess. Didn't realize people hated driving that much. Goddamn. Should get you to watch more 80s and 90s sci-fi anime. Dirty Pair, Bubblegum Crisis, Akira, Space Adventure, Cobra. I've seen Bubblegum Crisis and I've seen Akira. I watched Akira a while ago. I feel like I mentioned it on stream once I had watched it. It's okay. The grand consensus. It's alright. Eh. It might have been more relevant at the time when it came out. With all of the, like, Japanese scientists after World War II. They got to go free in exchange for the information on their research. Yeah. It's alright. I think I mentioned before when I had like first talked about it that like it's fucked up how they treat that one girl character. Like throughout the entire movie, she's just getting fucking shat on by just the story. I guess the idea is that they're trying to make it disturbing, you know, because it is disturbing to just watch a very vulnerable person get, you know, beat up and molested and then crushed to death. But, you know. It's still fucked up. I understand what they were going for, but it was still kind of fucked up. Hey, Zanek. And hey, Yeshua. Keep up with the awesome drawings. I'm in a casino, so I hear nothing. He's gambling away his life. Well, let me know if you win big. Still trying to win big over here myself. Not at the casino, though. Just at life. Let's see. With Dirty Pair, you can watch the whole TV anime on Tubi. You know, as far as 90s anime goes, I'm more interested in checking out some more 90s fantasy anime that I might have never heard of. If you have any recommendations for that, maybe? I know that there's this one, my friend recommended with some sort of adventuring thing. Dungeon something. Man, I can't you see, you can tell I have not checked it out yet because I can't remember the damn name. He showed us like the first episode and it was fine. It's more of a comedy fantasy thing. Slayers-esque, you know, type stuff. But yeah, it was fine. If you win big, buy all the Burning Star comics. That's where the long-term value is at. You know it. One day, these comics will be worth so much. Especially when I redraw all of them. And then burn the remaining copies of the originals. What the fuck happened to her hand? I know what I'm, like, trying to draw, but, like, it's just not turning out the way that I had originally envisioned it. Alright, we'll go simple. I should be done the first chapter at least for the Subscribe Star viewing. Sometime within next week. Maybe sooner. Maybe sooner. Probably not. But for those of you who are subscribed on the Subscribe Star, if you have the first reader tier, you'll be able to check out the first chapter ahead of time. It is your birthright as a subscriber. You'll also be able to check out Claire's Flower, which is the short comic that I made. It is also fantasy. I think I made him a little bit smaller, so now I gotta make Ichabod a little bit smaller also, because now he looks giant. It happens. That's what happens when you, like, you know, you're redrawing things. Alrighty. Now, let's do a little bit of rendering on baby dress. I can't even remember if this is how the bib was supposed to go. I mean, I sketched it there, so I assume that I knew what I was doing when I sketched it there. But maybe it's a little bit different. I'll have to double check. Alright. I think this turned out pretty good. Should back them up. Oh, what? Oh, that must have been when I was fucking around with it a little bit. So that's gotta be on this layer. Yeah, and I just forgot to delete that line. Okay. Better. Some 90s fantasy I have in mind include Record of Lodos War. Oh yeah, people talk about that one. El Hazard, The Wanderers. Never heard of that one. Dragon Half? That makes me think of so many different possible stories that could have so many different weird plots regarding Dragon Half. Magic Knight Rayearth. That sounds cool. Saint Tail. Saint Tail? Nah. I don't want to do any furry stuff. Is it possible to to filter out furry stuff? Saint Tail just, I don't know, something about that, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but something about that title I'm like, there's probably some furries, I don't know. Tail. I don't know about that. It could have a totally innocent reason for why it's called Saint Tail. But, I don't know. Filter out furries option. I need that for like every anime recommendation. Alright. Getting somewhere, huh? Now most of what I need to do to finish up the first chapter is actually just backgrounds for the most part. Not every panel needs to have a course. And I think I might maybe not add backgrounds to everything and then maybe go back and if I have extra time add backgrounds to more things, etc., etc. But yeah, I gotta do backgrounds and I gotta do lettering. I didn't do any of the lettering really. I gotta figure out how I want to do the lettering. That's another big thing. I can just do what I did for the first book, of course. But I do want it to be better in every way. So if there's a better way to do lettering, I want to do it like that instead. Naturally. Alright, there we go. Saint Tail is more of a magical girl anime. More of, or it is not furry at all. You know, because magical girl anime can still also be furry. I don't mind magical girl anime so much, but admittedly I never grew up on magical girl anime. Which seems odd, I guess, because a lot of people assume, oh, you're a girl who likes anime, so you're like super into Sailor Moon, right? And it's like, well, I didn't really grow up on Sailor Moon, actually. So I have no clue. Not that I'm opposed to checking out magical girl anime. I'm sure I'd probably like it, assuming that they actually kill. You must kill the villains. It is required. My bloodlust must be satiated. I guess they do that in Madoka Magica, right? There's killing in there. Maybe that's the one that I should watch. I watched... Let's see, what magical girl anime have I actually watched? I watched Shugo... How do I say this? Shugo Chara? The egg one? If you know, you know. It's the egg one, of course. I don't remember much about it, but the things that I do remember about it make it seem like kind of meh. Like it's something I could only enjoy as a really young child and probably wouldn't get a lot of enjoyment out of as an adult, you know? But that was like one of the first anime that I've ever really watched. It was definitely the first one that I've ever watched subbed. It's the only time I ever watched a subbed anime. It's obviously like 4Kids and whatever dubbed the anime, and it was the only time I was looking into the subbing. Let's see, I guess I can do a little bit of do this hair. Do this hair. Make it very pretty. What am I doing? I think I've heard of Shugochara. Heard that one isn't bad. Well, I seldom remember it. I do know, from what I watched anyway. I don't know. I don't know if there's more of it that I just didn't keep up with after I watched it as a kid. I know that they never really concluded the love triangle they set up. Love triangle wasn't that good either. Gotta be brutally honest here. Wasn't that good of a love triangle. Wasn't that great. But it was like the first one I was ever introduced to, really. So I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Both guys want to fuck her? Nice. I hope I'm so pretty when I grow up that both guys want to fuck me. I'm being a little crude, I know. Part of the point I'm making is that that is childish to think, you know. And I liked it when I was a child. But yeah, I don't think they conclude that romance. It was more uncommon, I guess, for older anime to not conclude the romance at all. Which is tragic, because it's what, like, the ladies are most interested in. I'm so glad that a lot of modern anime, we've become so advanced in anime that we now conclude romances. Incredible. The world is truly changing for the better. Just that is fine. Okay. Do his sweater. And I'll do a background on this one. Maybe I'll just do like sparkles or something. Just generic sparkles is probably fun. Center them a little bit more. Just kind of part of the process. Sometimes things just move over. Just move a little over a little bit. And not worry about that hand, although it is a little bit fucky-wuckied. It will survive as a fucky-wucky. Change the direction of the blush because I don't like how it looks there. This is not terrible. Maybe his eyebrow is a little bit too thick, I'm thinking. Not the worst thing to have a character with thick eyebrows, but maybe in comparison to the other panels, it is too much. You know what? I think his head is too round. Let me try to red mark this. It could also be bigger, honestly. You got a big ass head, Ichabod, what can I say? So it might be a little bit better if I calmed down the poof. Not that it will solve all the problems, but it would be something. This way. Okay. Art is such a fun puzzle. It's all about how can I fix what I just drew. Okay. Is that too low now? Better higher? It's better lower? I think right around there is okay. Usually it's like sort of what, top of the ear, middle of the ear? Although I guess it depends on the head shape in general, but in this case it is slightly tilted. Oh, Dannphan drawing along too, looking good. Thank you. Under God is looking pretty sick also. Nice work. Let's see. I don't know what other 90s fantasy that would get your interest. Fujiki Yugi, Card Captor Sakura, or Fen. Or Fen. Why does that title make me feel like I should have PTSD when I read that title? Like, that's something dark, isn't it? I don't know. Doomed, Megalopolis, Gilstat, Toko, Princess, Ah My Goddess. Ah My Goddess is... that's not fantasy, is it? I thought that was like... that's like modern fantasy or something, right? I feel like I've seen Ah My Goddess and I was pretty sure it was not actually fantasy. It was something else. Is that better or worse? Asking my chat. I don't know what I'm doing. Chat, help me. It's worse. So the nose is definitely like difficult to draw when you're doing it from the side. Sure, everyone has a little bit of issues here and there, because if I do it too pointy, Now he looks like Pearl from Steven Universe. This is probably fine. I'm mostly overthinking things. It's what I do. But, you know, it is, I guess, part of how you could potentially get better is by overthinking things. Alright, there's what I got. This is the page so far. Yeah, maybe I'll add like sparkles or something in the background of this. Not really. It feels like it needs something, right? You have like two heavy background panels and then you get this, you know? Boom! Art. Am I right? Yeah. It's something. Well, look at that. Gotta love this magic, folks. Goddamn right. Thank God for Eclipse Studio. You know, his sleeves just look short here, and then here they look rolled up. I can't remember which one I was actually... I can't remember which one I did. Was it just short sleeves or was it rolled up sleeves? I have to check later. Not that it's that much of a difference, but you know. Not that anyone notices when I fuck something up except for me. Oh, you know, I did his hair differently here too. It's my fault. It is. It's my fault for trusting the sketch. I should have had a reference open. I'll flatten out this. Flatten out this. It's not... Actually, where's the original sketch? Oh, right. I moved them, so it doesn't matter. Flat. No hairs poking out on the top. Flat head. That's fine. Yeah, I was actually thinking for this one, there. I was actually thinking I didn't really need this all going on here. Maybe like, you can have one. Well, really what I just need is those lines to be thicker. A little bit. But the extra black was just too much. It's distracting. Could probably have a bigger top of his head too. Now we're just basically in the editing phase, which normally I don't stream the editing phase, so consider yourselves quite privileged. It's Dannphan After Hours. You could have a bigger ear too, buddy. Ear's looking quite nerfed. Okay. That's not gonna work. Yeah, I really like the style of super old school fantasy. Like if there was a version of Slayers that wasn't necessarily a comedy, I'd probably be just a super fan of that. I like Slayers, of course. I would consider myself a fan. But you know. Doesn't have to be a comedy for me to enjoy it. I kind of just like the high fantasy adventure vibes, you know? That's the fun part. Should I hint at the other side of his face? Or am I overthinking? I just go like... bleh. Just do a little bleh there. I guess I can. It doesn't look that... But do I have to know? No. Let's just leave it. Let's not worry about it. Let's relax. This is supposed to be a chill stream. Let's don't worry about it so much. No need for bleh where we're going. Alright. There's the page. It's a page. Kabad looks super cartoony in that one panel. But it helped it get drawn faster, you know? So that's how it go. Alrighty. How long have we been streaming? 2 hours? 2 hours? Alright. That's not too bad. I'm okay with calling it at 2 hours. You know, it went by pretty fast. It went by pretty quickly. I prefer it when it goes by pretty quickly, of course. Don't need the super lengthy streams where I'm dying by the end of it, like, oh god, how do I keep people's attention and draw at the same time? You know what I mean? Is this your comic? Absolutely. Yes, and it's crowdfunding right now so that we can get printed copies of this masterpiece. This is just a 3-panel page, so it's not nearly as impressive, but links are in the description if you want to check out more pages, if you want to, you know, check out the campaign pages. We have a Kickstarter page and then also a Fund My Comic page for getting this masterpiece printed. Okay, there's my 3-panel page. Very easy to inflate the amount of pages when you make 3-panel pages. But, you know. Yeah, okay. I think it's good to call it here. Could I do another panel or another page even? Probably. I could probably do another panel at least but you know, I didn't really have dinner yet, so I'm thinking 2 hours is long enough. Looks great. The improvement level just hits 1 square in the jaw. The improvement level just hits 1 square in the jaw. Thank you. Yes, links in the description. Do it. Back of the campaign. Please help me make this into a viable series. Go eat, we will live. I sure hope so. I sure hope that you all just don't die as soon as I go to eat something. That would be terrible. Okay. Well, I guess you got to see me draw basically the entire page on stream. It was this stream and then last stream, I think, we were doing this particular page. Oh, you know what? I did the backgrounds off stream. I did do that. And if I had done them on stream, I would have had many comments telling me the perspective was wrong. I don't think it's that noticeable, though. I don't think the perspective mistakes are that noticeable, just because of how the furniture is. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. Delusional artist is like, the perspectives aren't that bad. I don't like perspective. Perspective takes a lot of time. There's a lot of time, and I want to do fast. I want to draw fast. I don't draw a line because I want to draw fast. Alright, deteriorating. So this is the Kickstarter page. My dark fantasy series, Reaper, the Beasts in Men, is the book that's funding now. We have cover and we have pages. You can read a couple of the pages, you can look at the things, look at the action stuff and things, and you can buy, get book 1, book 2, you can get just book 2, you can get art print and t-shirts. All of this stuff is gone, you can't get it. Too bad. But yeah. And then we also have, if you don't like Kickstarter, we have the Fund My Comic page. There's a few things that are on Fund My Comic that are no longer available on Kickstarter, such as the soul vials, because he collects souls in a vial. So I made the soul vials. Think about it. It's cool. Anyway, maybe I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, definitely check out the campaigns if you haven't already. I think it's worth giving a shot. It's worth giving a chance, right? Will you sell it only digital or physical too? That's what the campaign is for. You're pre-ordering the physical copy. Yes. It'll be available digital as well on my website when it's done, of course. And when all the campaign backers have been fulfilled and they get their copies. But yeah, so it'll be available in both. Yes. Is it a real little girl or a doll? It's supposed to be a real little girl. I wasn't thinking about it looking like a doll, but I guess I'll have to make sure she doesn't look like a doll. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me on another drawing stream. These are usually pretty chill. I appreciate the chillness. Yeah. You don't show your cam anymore? Well, I can't for the drawing streams because I don't have enough USB ports. Because I'm a little bit technologically challenged, as it turns out. Don't worry though. Friday streams, the cam is back on. Last Friday stream I didn't have a cam, but that was for different reasons. We'll have a cam on this. And we'll talk about whatever topics you want to talk about. It's a free-for-all as in terms of topics. And yeah, I'll have to figure out some videos to do soon. Ooh, what's the next video I'm gonna make? I don't know. Probably another read-through. Probably something else. Who knows? It's a surprise. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Go get the book. And I'll see you next time. Good night everybody. Bye.